Welcome to Fiery Flow. Today you'll need something to sit on, so a pillow, a blanket, a block, a couch cushion, just something to elevate the hips, especially if your hips are high. And then possibly a strap, even a smaller hand towel or kitchen towel would work as well, only if the shoulders are really tight. So if you need to pause, do so, but when you're ready, we'll start in child's pose. Bringing the hips nice and wide, the knees nice and wide, sinking the hips back. Allow the forehead to rest on the mat. And take a few deep breaths, just feeling either the body or the rib cage expand, and then as you exhale, feel the body soften. And just allow yourself to soften here. Feeling all the places of the body that are touching the mat and really sinking your weight into them. Finding some gratitude for this time on your mat. No, it's not the same as being together in the studio, but it still is this sacred practice of stepping onto the mat, to having your own space, to breathe and to feel in order to process and let go. And take 3 really deep breaths here. If you'd like to set an intention, do so, but maybe it's just gratitude for being on the mat. And from your child's pose, begin to walk the hands from side to side a couple times. Really breathing into each side body, creating some space there in the lats, the intercostals, and down into the obliques, QL. We're starting things off fairly slow, so keep this calm, smooth breath. Cultivate that relationship now. As you make your way into tabletop or hands and knees, you'll find a little bit of movement through flexion and extension of the spine, cat-cow. You'll move around the hips and the shoulders. And really plant into the hands. Spread the fingers wide, get some weight on the hands. Wrap the triceps. And just feel your stability here. Push the mat away. And keep that stability as the long fingers, so index through pinky, stay completely on the mat, but lift the palms. The thumbs can lift as well. And then slowly lower down. Doing that a few times. To create some stability through the wrists. We'll be on our hands quite a bit today, but especially if you're on carpet, just taking the time to do this before you practice or at the beginning of your practice, every time you roll out the mat. Last one. Great. So from here, spread the fingers really wide. Find the stability again, push the mat away, wrap the triceps. And then as the low belly hugs in, we'll hover the knees off the mat into this hovering tabletop. But we'll switch it up a little bit rather than holding. So step the right foot forward. Step the left foot forward, stay really low. Step the right foot back, hovering tabletop, the left foot back. The left foot forward, right foot forward, left foot back, right foot back. Inhale, lift the heart here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a couple deep breaths, pedal it out. Find a little bit of movement that feels nice in the body. Inhale, bend the foot forward, exhale, floater step. Top of the mat, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. So finding some movement here, you can move at your own pace if I'm a little fast for you. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And swan dive. Halfway lift. Plant the hands, step the feet back to a high plank. Tuck the tailbone, and then from here we can drop to the knees. And you can always stay off the knees if you'd like, if you're pretty warmed up already. But we'll do some chaturanga preps. So the hips stay pretty high like we do when we go in towards chest and chin. The hips stay really high like so, except we'll stay hovering in the chaturanga. So low belly really hugs in, elbows by the sides. Go ahead, lower into that first chaturanga. Inhale, exhale, push back up. Again, come down. Inhale, exhale, push back up. One more. Come back up. You can sink it back, stretch out the shoulders. And then in your own time, make your way into downward facing dog. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, floater step. Halfway. Exhale, fold. Relax the neck, and then inhale, reverse swan dive. Bring it to the heart. Inhale, sweep it up again. Swan dive. Offer. Fold, hopper step the feet back, find your vinyasa through your heart opener of choice. Downward facing dog. Settle here. Take a deep breath. Inhale the right leg straight back and up. Exhale, right knee, right elbow, or armpit. Inhale, back up. Exhale, right knee, left armpit or elbow. Back up. Again, we're doing this 4 times through. So we're finishing up with that second time. If you'd like, last 2 rounds, you could bring toes towards the wrist instead of knee towards elbow or armpit. Last time through. Inhale up. And if you're a little behind, that's fine. Step the foot forward between the hands. Pull back the right hip and then bring both hands to the inside of the right foot. Either up on the fingertips or down on the palms. Or if you're pretty tight, you could bring hands up to blocks or even on top of a water bottle. Inhale, drop the hips, lift the heart. Exhale, straighten out through the right leg, curl in like cat pose. Again, drop the hips, lift the heart. Curl in. 3 more times. Two more. Last one. Great, sink into the hips again. Stay planted through the left hand. Inhale the right arm up and open into a twist. Nice and strong. Pull back the right hip again, come up on the left fingertips. And stay twisted, but we'll slowly bring the upper body up into a twisted crescent. Breath. Sweep the right arm around, crescent lunge, inhale. Exhale, settle. Inhale again. Exhale, hands come down, frame the right foot. Step the right foot back You could keep the foot hovering over the mat, so a one-legged plank. And then shift the weight over the right hand, come up on the left fingertips. Drop the hips a little bit. Reach the left arm forward, deep breath. Plant the left hand, find your flow, recover, resolve. Down dog or child's pose when you're finished. Slow it down. Feel the pause at the top of the inhalation, at the bottom of the exhalation. Find a good foundation again. Inhale the left leg up. You know where we're going. Left knee, left elbow or armpit. Back up. Bring it across. Really fluid movement. Bring it across. Last 2 times through. If you'd like, toes come to wrist. Again, move at your own pace. If it's a little faster or slower than me, that's fine. And after the 4th time through, we step the foot forward. Both hands are to the inside of the left foot. Settle here, lift the heart. Pull the left hip back. Inhale, heart lifts, hips sink. Exhale, curl in, straighten out the left leg. Inhale, drop the hips, lift the heart. And push it away. 3 more times. Sink into the hips again. Square them off, plant through the right hand. Inhale the left arm up and open for a twist. Drop the right ear slightly. Deep breath. And then really stabilize through the legs. Come onto the right fingertips. As you're ready, stay twisted. Twisted crescent lunge. Gaze can be forward or back, but take a deep breath here. Sweep the left arm around, inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, settle. Inhale, lift. Exhale, close it out. Palms plant, left foot steps back, maybe it stays hovering. We shift the weight to the left hand, either on the right fingertips or right hand reaches forward. Deep breath. Plant the right hand and vinyasa. So 5 breaths in either downward facing dog or child's pose. Again, really slow down and lengthen out the breath. Welcome some heat into the body. You may be starting to sweat, maybe not quite yet, but either way, just welcome it in. If you're in child's pose, balasana, come to downward facing dog. And we'll start by taking the right leg straight back and up. And then bend the knee, open up the hip. So hips are open to the right. And then we'll come way up high on the left ball of the foot. And then drop the heel back down to the mat a couple more times. This next time, stay really high on the ball of the left foot and bring the right knee towards the left armpit. So stay in nice and tight. We'll fall to the inside of the back left foot. So we're kind of in this side plank here. You could hold this, you could extend through the right leg, but we'll eventually find a fallen triangle. So reaching that right leg out long, outside edge of the foot on the mat, lift through the hips, Reach the left arm towards the ceiling. Take 2 deep breaths. Relax the neck. Left hand plants. Low belly hugs in first. Lift through that right leg. Take it straight back and up. Bend the knee. Open up the hip. If you would like, fall it into wild thing. Lifting through the heart. Nice and easy and free. Breathe. Start to flip it back. Let's all meet with the right foot up in the air. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale, knee towards the nose. And step the right foot forward. So we're in a crescent lunge base. Let's bring it up. Pull back the right hip. Tuck the tailbone. Slow down the breath as needed. You can even roll out the wrists here a little bit if they're bothering you. Regain your composure. And before we move on to balance, let's actually step the back leg forward just a little bit. Heel falls in. So we're in this warrior 1. Take the arms behind the back and kind of shrug the shoulders back, interlace. Lift through the heart. And if you'd like, either staying here or folding into humble warrior. If you're folding into humble warrior, take the right hip and tuck it under a little bit more. The tendency is to let the right hip go way out to the right. So keep it tucked under. If you're down pretty low, you can relax the head. It's fine to rest the shoulder on the knee here. Deep breath. Lead with the heart, come on up. Relax the hands. Take a breath. So with the hands down by the sides, let's roll the shoulders back a little bit. Tucking the tailbone, find a little bit of a back bend. Not so much in the neck, but more in the upper spine, the thoracic spine. And then keep this little bit of a back bend. We're coming into Vira 3, Warrior 3. So we won't be able to go down as low. It's fine to be up here like this. But think locust pose. So really lifting through the heart. Take another breath. Fingertips to the floor. Easy standing splits. Hip is open a little bit, especially if the hamstrings are tight. And inhale, come up, lift the heart. Exhale, Shiva squat. Bend both knees. Curl in. Inhale, extend. And Shiva squat. If you'd like a little bit more of a challenge, the hands come to the heart center and we Shiva squat. Last 2. Last one. Open up the hips to the side so you have this Ardha Chandrasana, half moon foundation. Bend the knee. Walk the fingertips to the right. You can look over your right shoulder to see if you can see the left foot. Deep breath. Walk the hands back to center, plant them. If you'd like to find a few handstand hops, you're more than welcome. Keep it nice and easy, or if you'd like to hold a handstand, you may do so. And feel free to play with it for 15 or 20 seconds. Like, what is that, 10 or 15 hops? And then eventually you can hop it back. You can find your flow through your heart opener. And then you settle into downward facing dog or child's pose. To slow down the breath, to slow down the respiratory rate, and to pause and let go. So if you're still hopping, it's time to come back, find your flow, or to rest. Notice how the body feels, find another gratitude. Downward facing dog. So lengthen through the torso, the neck is nice and relaxed. If the hamstrings are tight, keep the knees a little bit bent or the heels lifted. That's completely fine. But this time we inhale the left leg up, bend the knee, open up the hip, come up onto the right ball of the foot, lower back down, a couple times. And then into fallen triangle. So up high on the ball of the foot, left knee towards the right armpit. The weight shifts to the left hand, the right heel falls in. I know that's a lot of rights and lefts, but we end up in this side plank variation with the left leg lifted. Again, you could extend it out, but eventually we'll set the left foot down on the mat, take the right arm up, or even reach it up overhead, but the hips are actively lifting. And breathe, feel, experience. To come out, we plant through the right hand, the back heel lifts. Low belly engages to lift that foot off the mat. Take it straight back and up, bend the knee, open up the hip. And finally, if you would like, wild thing. Breath. Take it out of wild thing. We'll all meet with that left leg up in the air. Deep breath. Next time you exhale, step the foot forward. Find warrior one base. Take the arms up once you have the adjustments done in the hips. The low belly is hugging in. Take a deep, full breath here. Not just waiting for it to be over. One more full deep breath, letting this posture be enough. It's easy to get caught up in our quote-unquote yoga goals or poses we'd like to work on or gaining strength or whatever. It's easy to lose sight of just being, appreciating where our bodies are at. I know that can be one of my most challenging practices from day to day. Gratitude, gratitude. Hands come behind the back and release the heart. Staying here, folding humble warrior. Again, tuck under the left sitting bone. It's fine to rest the left shoulder on the knee. If it reaches, relax the neck. Find some ease here. Balance it with your efforts. Inhale, lead with the heart first. Release the hands. Arms come down by the sides if they're not there already. You may need to shake out. Maybe a lot of tension that builds up in wrists and elbows. Find a little back bend. You could keep the hands interlaced behind the back on this round if you would like. But from there, from this place of a stable back bend, let's bring it into Vira 3. So again, you probably won't be able to go as low as you usually are in your Vira 3, Warrior 3. But take another breath, and then fold. Deep breath. Inhale, lift the heart. Fingertips either on the mat or hands at the heart. Shiva squat, exhale. Inhale, extend. On the breath. Two more. One more. Extend, open up the hip to the right, bend through the right knee. Walk the fingertips to the left. So we're getting really long through our right side. Maybe look back over the left shoulder. The right foot. Again, lots of lefts and rights. Deep breath. Hands come back towards center, square off the hips, plant the hands. If you'd like to do a few handstand hops, please do so. But eventually, you'll close it out. Take your time, same as the first side, really 10 to 15 hops. Really stabilize through the hands, spread the fingers wide, claw the floor. If you're not hopping, that's fine, you can rest in child's pose. Take another deep breath. If you're still hopping, it's time to come back. Flowing if you'd like. And then settling down. So ramping the heart rate up and then calming ourselves back down. So we have one, maybe two more pretty active postures. From downward facing dog, take a deep breath. And then bend the knees, look forward, inhale, exhale, step or float. Halfway up. Release. Reverse swan dive. Hands come through the heart. So feeling here. So this is where, if your shoulders are really tight, you may need a strap, you may need a dish towel. And if they're not too tight, then we'll bring our arms up overhead and interlace the thumbs or hook the thumbs. So arms are up overhead, and then feel the shoulder blades kind of lock back. So pull the shoulder blades onto the back, find some ease in the neck, and find a little sway from side to side. See how that feels. And if this gets to be too much on the low back, you can always bring hands to the hips or hands to the heart. But go ahead, release the hands for a second, maybe shake out the arms. And then bring the feet about shoulder distance apart and the toes turn out a little bit. So like you were setting up for a yogi squat, malasana, we'll actually bend into the knees a little bit. So maybe it's just here, bending into the knees and then lengthening. Or you could go all the way down. You might hear some nice knee pops. Gonna hang out in malasana for a couple breaths. Just get some movement. And keep the feet where they are, but stand back up. Arms come overhead, you guys will like this one. Hook the thumbs, shoulder blades on the back. So again, feet stay about the same, toes slightly out. And we're gonna do some yogi squats. So, as we bend through the knees, the low belly stays in, and maybe it's just a little bit today. Maybe it's here. Or maybe it's down a little bit further, like we're sitting down on a chair. For those of you with really good hip and knee mobility, you can sink all the way down into your yogi squat, keeping the heart lifted, push up. Continue. I prefer inhaling on the way down, exhaling on the way up for a little extra oomph. But I know a lot of you are kind of trained in the yogi tradition where you exhale whenever you move forward, inhale whenever you come up. So you can choose. Come on, we're going. 10, 9, you're doing great, I know. Last 5. Keep breathing in through the nose. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, relax the arms. Let's actually bring the hands to the heart. And if you need to breathe in and out the mouth a few times, that's fine. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Take a few breaths out the mouth. I'm just feeling your aliveness. So you can feel that connection, or you can feel the heart on whatever hand is touching the sternum. And if your heart rate is still pretty high, please stay here for a few more breaths. Slow it down, lengthen out the exhalations. If it's slowed down quite a bit, and then hands will come to the hips, toes straight forward now, and we'll fold. And you're more than welcome to bring the feet even max distance apart. Find the breath here, feel it fill up the back body, the sides of the ribs. And find a hand position that feels really good. So maybe it's fingertips on the floor, maybe it's ragdoll, maybe it's neck traction by interlacing the fingers, the hands come to the back of the neck, the elbows hug in, and then we relax the arms. Or final one, which has been my favorite recently, is to grab two big handfuls of hair, if you have enough hair to grab, and then relax the arm, so we get the traction through pulling the hair. And notice how that feels. Does it feel really good in the body? Is it a little too intense? Again, if the heart rate is still going, you can bend the knees and come into this halfway lifted position, just moving the neck and the head from side to side, keeping the head above the heart. Release the fingertips back down to the floor. Another breath. And then bend gently into the left knee, plant the left fingertips, inhale the right arm up and open. So option one is here. And it's completely fine to stay here. This twist is really beneficial. But if you'd like more of a challenge, then find your bind, dropping the left shoulder to the inside of the left knee. Both thumbs turn in, and then we can bend the knee. Option two is here. Option three is coming into bird of paradise, so shifting the weight to the right foot. We haven't really done any warm-ups for these, so you might be wobbling around like I am. Lifting the heart up, you could extend through the left leg. Oops. So you're ready, come back down, trying to be controlled. Releasing the hands to the mat, straightening out both legs. Inhale, halfway lift. And fold. Extra breath. Feet back, about max distance apart. Bend through the right knee. Inhale the left arm up and open. Drop the right ear slightly. Again, option number one. Option number two, drop the right shoulder to the inside. Both thumbs turn in, and then you find the bind. Or grabbing onto close the spine too. And then shifting the weight. Right big toe. When you're ready, have fun with it. It's fine to wobble. We're not statues. Eventually, right foot comes down, release. Find a little bit of movement. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, take the feet back. Last opportunity to flow. Child's pose. Feel your connection with the ground. Make your way onto your belly. However you want to get there, you can hold chaturanga for 10 seconds. You can just block down how I just did. But when you get there, extend the legs. Get really long through the front side of the body, ground through the tops of the feet, tuck the tailbone. And then the hands are kind of right in line with the chest, so bring them out off the mat. Up onto the fingertips, the elbows are really high. The forehead can stay on the mat to start, and we'll just rock from side to side. And for a lot of us with tight pecs, this is plenty. But if you need a little bit more, you can, as you inhale, kind of snake your way up to a modified cobra, and exhale, snake your way down. Or really any movement that feels nice here, helps you open up through the chest, relax through the neck. Last 2 breaths. When you're finished, you may find a cobra, an upward facing dog, either one. And then child's pose. Come on up to the knees and we'll find a camel pose. So either toes tucked under or feet flat on the floor, it's preference. Hands come to the low back, either fingertips down, or if you have the mobility, you can turn the fingertips kind of up the back. But either way, elbows move towards one another on the back. The glutes engage and the hips push forward as the heart reaches up towards the ceiling. So don't worry about how far back you're going. Imagine that something is grabbing your heart and pulling up this really pleasant opening wherever the neck is comfortable. Another breath. Gently bring it up. And then either that one more time, or you can find a different variation of camel, whether it's cactus arms, hands behind the back, or even the full variation with hands on the feet. And hands on the feet is great, but you just don't need as much strength to hold it. So don't think of it as this like end goal, like, okay, I reached my feet, there's no more work to do. So there's a lot of strength that happens in this back bend. How much the core has to work to hold yourself up in back bend. And hold for as long as you'd like. When you do finish, you come up and come into tabletop. Breathe and feel. Move around a little bit. Eventually, a couple cat-cows. So from here, or in a minute, we'll move on to our backs to finish up. If you'd like to pause this video and work on an inversion or do a longer hip opener, happy baby, that may feel really nice right now. Opportunity to pause. But once you are ready to kind of wind down, and maybe that's now, we'll come onto our backs. Knees bent, arms out wide, find some windshield wipers. And I invite you to bring the attention to the belly and really soften it. So we hold a lot of tension, a lot of anxiety in our abdominal region. And once this gets a little stagnant, you can move on to knees into chest or bridge pose. Or a Supta Baddha Konasana, which is soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Really, whatever is calling your name right now. And eventually you'll move into a comfortable position. For most of us, it's on our backs with our legs extended long, but it may be any other position on your back, belly, or side. Take a breath, feel the belly and the hips relax. And it's corpse pose. It's this honoring of allowing all the things that are dying or are dead to kind of fade away, to fall off of us. So every time we come into corpse pose, it's this great sacred opportunity to let go in order to make room for what's to come. And you can play around with this with the breath. So take a deep inhale, but don't let go. Keep holding on to it. Take in a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And then let it go. How good does it feel to let go? And a lot of times that simple exercise can help us in letting go. Such a hard practice. You can feel or imagine your roots growing down from your body into the earth to ground you even more, assist in letting go. Nothing else to do, nowhere else to be. Give yourself this gift of rest. And if you can stay for a few more minutes and allow yourself to rest, please do so. And eventually we'll wake ourselves up. Finding movement, deepening the breath, feeling all the sensation that arises. The eyes can stay closed, or at least the gaze soft, but eventually it will start to come up. Find a seated position. It'd be a good time to elevate the hips. We'll bring the hands to heart center. And again, please just feel. I know how hard it is to practice at home, with all the distractions, with everything and everybody who is calling for your attention. But sit in this space, find your gratitude, find your grounding. Set your intention. Take a breath for each other, your community. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.